My name is Jack Eidt, and this is fiction. This is from a piece called Medicine Walk. It is basically, it's a vision quest on the way to the high country of Yellowstone. And he's in a hotel room. He stopped off at a Red Roof Inn in Salt Lake City, and this is where it starts. The hotel room had an antiseptic feel, and Bond was too tired to burn sage to rescue the energy from the dead zone of toxic cleaning supplies. He opened the window and let the blast of ionically charged humidity inside. Not worried about his own sense a breeze might be drawn into the whirlwinds crossing the Great Basin. He dreamed of a bison. It stood silent 50 yards hence, gnawing on grass, not seeming to care. Bond hunted it with a .30-06 rifle. Though he had only used one once to hit targets in the desert, foraging on a hunting expedition with oil company clients. He was anxious to be one of the guys. The rifle made him feel powerful. It almost had a mind of its own, a full cartridge locked and loaded with 150 grain. A sage hunter once said, "A blood trail is life." But what kind of life includes the bloody slaughter trail of many millions of bison since Bond's relatives from Europe vagabonded their way west? A cliff in the distance resembled a pile of buffalo skulls. Nearing the bison, he had to hop barbed wire, cross not noticed before railroad tracks, then wait for the trucks to pass on a highway. He had lost sight of the thing searching down by the river. The cottonwoods appeared to have dead Indians left on scaffolds. Texas longhorns had trampled the blue bunch wheatgrass and lounged in the fenced distance. There the bison stood near that cliff, looking dangerous. One must assume the surviving 2,000-pound bulls knew how to fight. Bond could not see any of his oil company cohorts. He faced the beast on his own. He snuck up, stepping over rocks in a coulee or dry gulch to get closer. The bison did not move, and Bond got a couple of shots off. Boom, boom. The rifle weight knocked his arm back, but the bull did not run, only regarded him from 20 feet away. He shot 4 times, but none heard it. Then it became furious. It charged, and Bond scrambled up rocks, climbing a cliff, hoping the angry animal could not follow. Yet it did, so he scaled a lodgepole pine, slamming the tree with its horns. The bison hooked off bark, shaking him so his grip loosened. Bond wedged in the crook of the tree to balance. Another shot to no avail. The buff rammed the pine again, and he fumbled the rifle and dropped it on the ground. Nowhere to go. In mortal danger, he begged for mercy from the brute. It hooked the tree a 4th time, then rolled in the mud. Certain he would be killed, Bond whispered. Your horns hook on pollen. Hooves stomp on pollen. Your horns are pollen. Your body is pollen. Be still. The holy trail is long and beautiful and not strewn with your blood. The bison stepped away and turned into a horse. Bond kept praying with pollen, and the rocks appeared as a grouping of people, and without having to ask, a man identified them as the Sioux. Bond noticed a village ransacked by cavalry soldiers, men scalped, brains knocked out, women ripped open with knives, little girls clubbed in the head with guns. "Colonel, why did you open fire on the children?" "Nits make lice," he said. Bond pronounced, "This is not the way I am." And yet the Sioux did not consider his existence worthy to enter their holy circle. People always shunned Bond unless he was at work doing their bidding. In the distance, the horse turned back into a bison. It transformed 4 times, rolling in the mud. Then it stood watching. He awoke in the Red Roof Inn, to clunking on the floor, above possibly a crew of noisy kids and stomping trainers moving furniture. TV in the room next heard through the walls shouting about the deficit bought by Chinese bankers and the smell of eggs cooking, or maybe an unsanctioned camp stove emanated from the vents. Time to leave. He had slept in his white t-shirt and khaki pants, fearing touching what those sheets had touched, mechanical washing with chemical detergents notwithstanding. Packing was easy, and he left without thinking of the bison, and what it all meant, or where the hell he was going.